A sharp movement, a sudden rush of air. Pain exploded at the side of Dr. Catherine Ward's skull. The impact sent her staggering forward, her vision blurring as her lantern slipped from her grasp. Glass shattered against the stone floor, plunging the hidden chamber into darkness. A muffled groan escaped her lips as she collapsed, warmth seeping into the cold, ancient ground beneath her. The murderer stood still for a moment, chest rising and falling in quick succession, before slipping away into the shadows, leaving only silence in their wake. The Peruvian jungle pulsed with the sound of life, birds calling from the treetops, the distant hum of insects, the rustling of unseen creatures among the foliage. Nestled within this emerald expanse lay an ancient archaeological site, a forgotten tomb buried beneath centuries of earth and secrecy. The excavation team had spent months uncovering its mysteries, but tonight, one of them would never leave. Welcome, Detective. The Covert Detective Agency has assigned you an urgent case, the tragic death of Dr. Catherine Ward. As an experienced investigator, you are being asked to assist another detective from the Covert Detective Agency, Detective Lucia Alvarez. Your task is to uncover the truth behind this mysterious murder. What was the motive for the murder? Greed, jealousy, power, or something entirely unknown? Throughout this video, you will uncover at least 5 critical clues and encounter 3 red herrings designed to mislead you as detectives. Your challenge is to separate fact from fiction, piece together the evidence, and solve the case. The fate of this investigation rests in your hands. Stay sharp, and good luck. Inside the hidden chamber, Dr. Catherine Ward had traced the intricate carvings on the wall, her breath shallow with excitement just moments before. The discovery she had made would change everything. The others had no idea. If her suspicions were correct, this tomb was more than just a relic. It was proof of an undocumented civilization. She had run her fingers over the patterns, the soft flicker of her lantern illuminating what appeared to be an ancient script. Her notebook, filled with frantic sketches and theories, had been opened beside her. Now only stillness remained. By morning, the jungle would reclaim its secrets, but the truth would not stay buried for long. Detective Lucia Alvarez stepped out of the sleek black helicopter, the wind from the blades whipping her dark hair across her face. At 35, she was already one of the Covert Detective Agency's finest, sharp, intuitive, and unrelenting in pursuit of the truth. In this case, it had all the makings of a tangled mess. She took in the scene. The excavation site surrounded by towering trees, a cluster of tents serving as makeshift housing, and a collection of dirt-covered archaeologists with wary eyes and exhausted faces. Dr. Ward's body had been found that morning, inside a chamber that was supposedly sealed, a locked-room murder in an ancient tomb. Lucia adjusted the strap of her shoulder bag and strode toward the lead archaeologist, a wiry man named Dr. Elias Navarro. His face was pale beneath the jungle heat. "No signs of forced entry," Navarro said, rubbing the bridge of his nose. "Whoever did this, they knew exactly what they were doing." Lucia nodded, her keen gaze scanning the excavation site. "Then let's find out who." The first thing Lucia examined was the crime scene. The chamber had been resealed, but inside signs of struggle were evident. The shattered lantern, the footprints in the dust, and, most intriguingly, a fragment of ancient pottery with jagged edges, missing from the official inventory. Dr. Ward had been murdered. As Lucia moved through the site, she paid close attention to the way the team members reacted. It was obvious something had been removed as a result of disturbed dust. Some avoided her gaze. Others spoke too quickly, or not at all. A few had stories that didn't quite match up. A young archaeologist, Liam Harper, was nervously scrubbing at his hands near a basin of water, the dirt under his nails stubbornly clinging. I was working late," he stammered when Lucia approached, his fingers twitching. "Had to clear some rubble near the western trench." Lucia simply nodded, storing the detail away. Near the site's equipment tent, she spotted Elena Morales, the government official overseeing the dig, shutting her bag quickly as Lucia approached. "This excavation has been a disaster from the start," Elena muttered, her voice clipped. "Dr. Ward wanted to bypass protocols. She thought she was above the regulations." Lucia caught a glimpse of a folded notebook page sticking out of Elena's bag before it disappeared. Further along the edge of the site, Victor Rossi, a journalist with a reputation for getting too close to his stories, adjusted the settings on his camera. His lens was directed at the tomb entrance, but when he noticed Lucia watching, he quickly lowered it. "Just trying to document history," he said with an easy smile. "You can't blame a guy for wanting the truth." Lucia could, and she would. Lucia called for a main gathering. The suspects sat in a semicircle beneath the excavation tent, tension thick as the jungle air. She began to lay out the case, presenting the evidence piece by piece, careful to omit the most critical clue. "You've followed the trail of clues, dodged the red herrings, and pieced together the mystery, but have you truly solved it? If you're still searching for the missing link, listen carefully. The next song holds one final hidden clue, woven into the lyrics, waiting to be discovered. Are you ready to unlock the truth? Let the music reveal what you've missed."
Deep in the jungle where the vines grow tall, a secret was buried, hidden from all. The lantern shattered, its light burned dim, a whisper of struggle who silenced her hymn. Footprints in the dust, a page torn in flight. Something was taken deep in the night. An ancient tale in the stone was cast, but only one clue will break the past. The jungle, it listens, the trees, they sigh, a truth buried deep where shadows lie. A pot left broken, its shards unseen. What story was told in the space between? Footprints in the dust, a page torn in flight. Something was taken deep in the night. An ancient tale in the stone was cast, but only one clue will break the past. A notebook missing, its words erased, a puzzle of knowledge now out of place. A silent watcher, a lens so keen, captured the night, but what did it mean? The river hums with a ghostly sound, a secret lost, but now is found. Listen close, the answers call, echoing deep in the chambered hall. One hand trembled, one heart burned, a moment of fury, a lesson unlearned. The dusk still whispers of what was done, a clue uncovered, the truth has begun. Footprints in the dust, a page torn in flight. Something was taken deep in the night. An ancient tale in the stone was cast, but only one clue will break the past.
Have you pieced together the clues to uncover the murderer and the motive for the murder? Have you distinguished fact from deception? Take a moment to think it over. If you need more time, hit pause now. The answers will be revealed in 10 seconds. The 5 clues in solving the murder. The first clue is the shattered lantern. The lantern wasn't simply dropped, it was thrown with force. This suggested that a struggle had occurred inside the chamber, contradicting the initial belief that Dr. Ward had merely tripped or fallen. The way the glass fragments spread across the ground indicated a sudden impact rather than an accident. The second clue is the footprints in the dust. The hidden chamber was supposed to be sealed, yet fresh footprints were found inside. The pattern suggested movement towards Dr. Ward's body and then away, indicating someone had entered and exited after she was already there. Given the chamber's remoteness, this meant only a few people had the opportunity. The third clue is the missing notebook page. A critical page from Dr. Ward's notes was later found crumpled and tucked into an equipment bag. This page contained vital information about her discovery, implying that someone had removed it intentionally. The location of the page suggested an attempt to cover up knowledge of her findings. The fourth clue is the disturbed dust. Patterns in the dust indicated that something had been taken or moved after the murder. Small gaps in the accumulated dirt revealed where an object had once rested, but was now missing. This suggested that an artifact had been deliberately removed, possibly the murder weapon. The fifth clue is Duracell, the pottery fragment. The missing artifact, later found hidden in the supply crates, turned out to be the murder weapon. The jagged edges matched the wound on Dr. Ward's head. Upon closer examination, the fragment bore faint traces of blood and fingerprints, confirming it had been used to strike the fatal blow. Red herrings or misdirections are: the first red herring is Liam's dirt-stained hands. His nervous behavior and dirt-covered hands made him appear suspicious. However, upon analysis, the soil on his hands matched a different section of the dig site, indicating he had been working elsewhere at the time of the murder. His anxiety stemmed from unrelated academic pressure rather than guilt. The second red herring is Victor's late-night photos. Victor had taken unauthorized photos near the chamber, raising suspicion that he had seen or done something incriminating. However, his images showed nothing more than routine excavation work, proving he had been documenting the dig rather than committing a crime. His reluctance to share the photos came from fear of expulsion from the site. The third red herring is Night. Elena's notebook page. The missing page found in Elena's bag seemed to directly implicate her, but closer inspection revealed that it had been placed there by someone else. While Elena had motive, the act of planting evidence was an attempt to mislead the investigation, making her an initially misleading suspect. And this is who committed the murder, why, and how. Elena Morales had killed Dr. Ward in a fit of rage. She confronted Ward about her belief that the archaeologist intended to smuggle artifacts out of the country, destroying Peru's historical legacy. Tempers flared, and in a moment of blind fury, Elena grabbed the pottery fragment and struck Ward over the head. Realizing what she had done, she panicked, resealed the chamber to make it appear undisturbed, and hid the murder weapon among the excavation supplies. But the evidence was undeniable. The pottery fragment bore her fingerprints, and the disturbed dust in the chamber exposed her deception. The chamber was sealed, yet fresh footprints were inside, she said. The lantern wasn't dropped, it was thrown. The pattern of the injury told me exactly how Ward was killed, and the missing notebook page, found in an unexpected place. She paced slowly, stopping first at Liam. You worked late the night before? Dirt under your nails? That suggests you were near the chamber long after the others left. Next, she turned to Victor. Your camera proves you were near the chamber after hours. But were you just documenting the dig, or were you watching something unfold that you shouldn't have seen? Finally, her gaze fell on Elena. And you argued with Dr. Ward, fought with her about keeping artifacts where they belong. You had a reason to be there, didn't you? The group shifted uneasily as Lucia's words sank in, but she had more to say. Her eyes locked on Elena. There's one clue we haven't discussed yet. Lucia reveals the missing pottery fragment, now retrieved from the supply crates. This was the murder weapon. It was hidden after the fact, wiped down, but not well enough. And whose fingerprints were on it? Elena's silence was damning. She was going to smuggle them out. Our country's history, gone forever, Elena finally admitted. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to stop her. Lucia let the silence stretch. The truth is out, but history will remember who tried to bury it. The sun dipped below the horizon as the excavation wrapped up. Artifacts were carefully packed, the chamber resealed. Lucia stood at the edge of the site, watching as the team prepared to leave. Another case solved, another story written in blood and stone. She turned on her heel, stepping into the helicopter. The jungle whispered its goodbyes as the blades roared to life. As they lifted off, Lucia exhaled, already thinking of the next mystery that awaited her.